So do you follow the latest sewing trends, or do you like to do your own thing? That is the topic of this live edition of the Sewing Report. Welcome, I'm Jennifer Moore, your host, and I want to help you discover your love of sewing. Sorry we are starting late today. I cannot even begin to tell you what kind of technical problems I have been having. Really long story, but I was trying to use a different camera, upgrade a little bit for this week's show, and all of a sudden things just got really glitchy. I ended up having to restart my computer. It was a big old mess, so I decided to just stick with the webcam and try to figure it out. I was doing it yesterday and everything was working fine, but for some reason today, OBS is really not cooperating with me. So we're going to see how things go. But welcome everybody. Thank you so much for being here once again. We do this every Sunday, hopefully at 3 p.m. This week it started a little bit later, but I'm here. I got my water and my souvenir mug from prom. Yeah, really long time ago. And we're just going to get started. So, all right, let me pop up the chat window real quick. Yeah, and honestly, it was so glitchy. I couldn't even do the, couldn't even do the normal intro. Like, it was that bad. So I'm like, but you know what? We're going to do this anyways. And I'm here, you're here. So thank you again. And, so this week we are going to be chatting about what we like, what kind of trends we like. Like, are you the kind of person that has to have the latest sewing patterns, fabric, styles, or are you someone that really doesn't pay attention to that sort of thing? You buy what you want. You don't really pay attention to what people are doing on Instagram or whatever. So we're going to chat about that. But if you're watching, again, thank you. And before we get into things, I do want to recommend a video to you guys. I saw this yesterday. I don't know if you're familiar with actor, comedian, noted woodworker, author, and filmmaker Nick Offerman. He played Ron Swanson on the show Parks and Rec. Amazing character, and I really like what he's doing in his personal life to really encourage people to do things with their hands and make things. So I'm a fan. He's also married to Megan Mullally, and the thing you best know her for is playing Karen Walker on Will and Grace. I actually have caught the first 3 episodes. I'm really glad to see the show back, and she's one of my favorite characters. I think they're a really interesting celebrity couple. So I've watched a bunch. I actually spent more time than I should have this weekend, watching a bunch of interviews with them, which is kind of crazy. But we got a few of you guys here. We've got Joanna, we've got Renee, Vic, hey Amber, and so far the account seems to be people don't really care that much about trends. Danny girl, that's a good question. Danny wants to know, what do you think of vintage patterns? Let me pop up the chat window so we can start rolling. Oh, and also I want to do something before we get into things. Every week I've been posting a poll question in the little eye. So if you click on the top right hand side, you'll see an eye. Those are all the cards. So I may link a video to you or a poll question. So if you'd like to take the poll question, this week's question, of course, is, do you follow sewing trends? And there's a few options, yes, no, or it depends on what it is. So you're welcome to go ahead and answer. And the next week, I'm actually going to be sharing the results of said poll. So, all right, let's check out the poll from last week. Yeah, seriously, I will be honest, I was so frustrated today because I was really wanting this new camera to work out, and it was not. It was working, but at the same time I couldn't even use OBS. It was that crazy. So last week the poll question was, at what age did you really get into sewing? About 10 of you participated. I'd love to see more of you just to get a better cross section of who is watching and and what your answers are. So the more people we have participating, the better of a result we'll see. So 3 of you, 30% said under 18. Another 30% said 25 to 34. 2 watching said 19 to... Oh, wait, sorry. Okay, you know what? I think I Okay. You know what? I think the poll question sort of, I think the... Oh, wait, you know what? It's sorting it by the result. Okay, because I was I think I sorted it by age. But it's kind of telling me it's sorting it by, the response. Okay, so really we should go under 18, 3. 2 of you, 20% said 19 to 24. 30% said 25 to 34. One of you said you got into sewing between 35 and 49, and another one of you said above age 50. So again, I know there were more of you watching, so I know, and I realize a lot of people probably don't know this poll question exists, but it's there. So if you'd like to take the poll, feel free to participate and let me know what your answers are. Again, this week's question is, do you follow sewing trends? And there's 3 answers. And next week's show, I will do the same thing where I share the results. It's just sort of a kind of a neat, like, little snapshot into, what kind of, people are watching this show, and also what are your preferences. And I do want to give a shout out to Tiffany. She is the one that actually suggested this show idea. So Tiffany, if you're watching, her username is Tetee Brown. Thank you so much for the suggestion, and I'm going to be taking suggestions from all of you if you have a good show topic. I think next week someone had suggested we talk more about sewing and the money factor. How can we make it cheaper? Also, kind of what kind of barriers are there to entry, that sort of thing. So I think that would be a good one for next week. Someone else suggested that we talk about more traditional sewing versus some of the more non-traditional forms of sewing, like cosplay or, historical costumes. And I think that would be a good topic too, to kind of talk about some areas of sewing that sometimes we just don't get into. So, but yeah, I'm so sorry. This morning has been so frustrating. So I was trying to see if I could use this camera to do the live show with. I've seen other people do it. So I did a test yesterday and it went fine. So I was like, okay, this is totally going to work. And then just before the show, when I was getting everything ready, I used the software called OBS, and it was just like, it was freezing up constantly. And I knew, this is just not going to work. So I decided to go back to my trusty really old webcam, and here we are. So yeah. All right, we've got a couple. Okay, we've already got some comments already, so let me pop this up here. So yeah, here's where we are now, and we're just gonna pop you up. So we've got a few of you watching, and so far the comments, okay, I make my own designs, but still use modern fabrics. Vic, I love vintage fabric, vintage patterns. And Danny Girl, you know what? Someone else said I don't follow trends, but I do a lot of vintage sewing. I would definitely say that is trendy right now. So a lot of people are doing vintage sewing from like the 50s and 60s. There was a lot of patterns geared towards that time period. So I would definitely say you are part of a fairly popular trend within the sewing niche. I don't know, that's just my opinion. Vic, I went to a recent craft fair and someone was selling fabric. The lady said their mother-in-law moved into a home and they had to sell out of her material. Oh, you know what? And that's one thing. I would hope that I would use the fabric that I have and that it wouldn't just sit there. So I'm trying to use the fabric I have. And as far as for myself, I would say I sometimes follow trends. There are some that I'm just not that interested in. And then there's others that I really like. And with the fabrics, I used, for a while, I was on this whole streak where I would buy like all this new fabric and I didn't end up using it. I still haven't used it yet. So at this point, I'm kind of staying away from buying a lot of new fabric and stuff because I just have so much that I haven't used. I'm really going to make an effort to use some of that stuff before thinking about buying anything else. The same thing with the patterns. After you've amassed a lot of patterns, some of the styles seem so similar. You're like, do I really need both of those? Or, could I kind of tweak the one I have and make that work? Because I think in some cases you can. Sometimes it's appealing. I know with the McCall sales that we've talked about where they're $1.99 or $2.99, it's really hard to pass up. Got a couple more comments. Okay. Oh, Danny says, I came across a big box of brand new vintage patterns. I'm in love with it. You know what, Danny? Hey, if you got it free or cheap, go for it. Just go for it. Suyu, I just sew what I want. I think following the immediate trends is a bit sheep-like. It's also very hard to stay current that way. I've never been one to follow any sort of trend, though. And Zoe says, show idea, challenges of sewing and easy ways to overcoming them. That's a good suggestion, too. We should definitely think about that. Maybe talk about are you talking about, like, more techniques? Like, like setting in sleeves, something I absolutely hate, that sort of thing. But yeah, anyways, I just want to let you know, I was trying to up the production level this week. I really did. I had this thing. I'm so sad. Like, I'm honestly really disappointed because the quality of this camera is way better than this. But this really old Logitech webcam seems to be the one that's not causing me problems. So I didn't want to continue to have problems, and even until, like, just now, pretty much, even the software I use was even freezing when I switched it back. But hopefully it's okay now. I don't know. It's been one of those weeks, All right, Lori, I watch the trends to the extent that it gives me ideas. If I need ideas, it does depend on whether it works for me or not. Hey, Champagne Twist, hello from London. Sorry, no, you know what, Champagne Twist? I was late too, and I was like, it was getting to the point I ended up having to restart the computer. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's 3:10. But I'm really kind of bummed because I was really trying to figure that out. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe and after the show, I'm gonna check to see if maybe I can get like a better, maybe I can maybe there's like a new version of OBS or something, or an update. But when I was hooking up the camera to, just to everything else, it was just not really cooperating. And I'll even try it again now to see, what happens. I don't even know, but like it was actually, maybe I shouldn't do that because. The moment I hooked up the camera to the computer, that I think maybe it's because maybe it's because running all those things at once just made it maybe too much for the computer. I don't know. So we'll see what happens. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. It's sad too. I haven't gotten a lot of sewing done this week, which kind of sucks. And, I've just been busy with a lot of other stuff. I'm trying to edit some videos though. But yeah, so I thought this was a good topic because I think sometimes it's really easy to fall into that herd mentality where you see, and that's the thing you see, I think with Instagram, I think women who sewed before social media, there was a little bit less pressure because there was no, I'm making this and then posting a picture on Facebook, or I'm making this and I need to post this on Instagram. I watch a lot of this guy, Gary Vaynerchuk. If you're not familiar, he's a really interesting person, a really interesting, cool business advice. But he had a good thought. Someone was asking, he was doing a keynote and someone was asking about social media, and how it's, drawing us away from real experiences. And he argued the opposite. He was like, you know what? He's like, somewhere out there's some dude hiking a mountain just so he can post a picture on Instagram. And you see it all the time. People are going to concerts and posting it on Instagram. People are, posting their food. So I feel like there's this pressure to live this Instagram type life where you're doing things and to some degree, you kind of want to do it just so you can show everyone you're doing it on Instagram or on Facebook. And I think there's something about that kind of, in a way, sort of bothers me. I don't know. When you stop doing things and having experiences just to have the experience, and you want to show other people, I think sometimes that can, I think that can take away from the overall experience. So I think, I know obviously I make YouTube videos, so, I'm showing things that I make, but I do think there are some things I want to try to do or move toward where it's not so where everything is not like a promotion. I don't know. So I don't know. It's just something that kind of bothers me, and it's not the way I want to live life, I guess. Although I know that sounds really hypocritical, but anyways, and I do sew what I want. I don't usually follow. There was that trend where everyone was making that Vogue dress that had the really low neckline. I forgot what number it was, but McCall's had a Vogue, or McCall's had a contest for it. And it just wasn't a style that I was into. Other things that I don't really, I guess I haven't really gotten into. I like all the sleeve fascination this year. I think that's interesting, and I've made a few, patterns or sewing projects that have interesting sleeves. There are some fabrics that everybody likes that I'm not that into. But I don't know, and for projects, I do the same thing. I will use Pinterest or something for a little bit of inspiration, but at a certain point, I want to get away from that and have something feel like me and feel like something that I came up with rather than me always just copying what someone else did. Or if I'm making a pattern, I want to make it in a fabric that, reflects me. I see a lot of trendy fabric, or styles that people are making, or even certain colors that I just don't feel fit me. So if I don't, I just don't do them. But I think for me, it goes in waves. Sometimes I have periods where I'm more closely following trends, and then other times I just don't care. I've got Marie and Amber. Okay, they're finding out their neighbors. Okay, that's cool. We've got Juanita. Hi from Los Angeles. I would love to see more YouTube channels that follow fashion trends. I think it's fun to see, and I would love to see more West Coast trends. And Juanita, that's an interesting point. And I would like to do. I think I would like to do some I think as far as my own sewing projects, more like designer recreations, or seeing something that's really hot right now and doing something with it and making my own version of it. I think that's something I want to do. Again, when I have more time, I think that'd be awesome. But Juanita, I want to ask you, what kind of trends would you like to see YouTubers focusing on for 2017? And also, let me know what have been for everyone out there, what have been your favorite and least favorite trends of this year? Like things you love, things you hate. I know in a previous show, we talked about the rompers for guys. That is definitely a trend that I really can't get on board with. Or like those lace shorts for guys. Like there have been a few that I'm like, I don't know. So, I have also noticed this when I was in high school, it was very popular to have clear, the clear plastic stuff was in. And I've noticed now it's like having a comeback, which I find kind of interesting too. So things that were popular when I was a teenager are coming back. Like I remember I loved anything clear. I had, what was the brand? Was it Steve Madden? I had like a clear purse at one point. I was really into like the clear vinyl stuff as a teenager, and now it's like back in action. I don't know if you guys have seen any of Sophia Nargard's videos. She's on YouTube too. She's done a number of videos about wearing clear plastic clothing, and I find her videos hilarious. All right, we've got Diane here. Oh, Diane, thank you so much. And and I apologize. I was a little late to the party to my own show, which is kind of ironic today. All right, yeah. And Vic, I have seen Annika Victoria taking ridiculous fashion items and expensive items. I like her style. I don't know if I could do the same sort of thing, but I have seen quite a few. I've seen quite a few items or quite a few fashion trends that I've wanted to sort of do, like maybe not exactly, but do something like that. So I think I might try that in the near future to try to make projects. But I also like just, and I think one thing about being a creative person is at a certain point, you don't want to keep consuming, you want to start making yourself. So as far as to what I pay attention to, I don't know, I not that I want to keep myself in a bubble, but I do tend to isolate myself a little bit by not closely scrutinizing what everyone else is doing in the YouTube fashion DIY world. Because there are just things that I want to do, and I don't really care. Like I might, like the video I did about the YouTube quilt. One day I was like, you know what? I think it'd be really cool to make a YouTube logo quilt. So I just went ahead and did it. And just projects like that where you just come up with them and you're like, I just want to make that. And okay, we've got Sherry. Yeah, vinyl comes and goes in fashion. And Sherry, I was thinking about doing a project maybe with, I bought like a few years ago a vinyl clear shower curtain. I'm going to do something with it. I originally got it to do like pockets for like bags or, like little organizers. But I think there's some possibilities for that one. We've got, I like the ruffle sleeves that are out now, but they are definitely not flattering on anyone who isn't fashion model size. That's true. They do, like with the huge ruffle sleeves, I do kind of feel like they bring attention to that area of your body. I don't have a tiny waist, so when I wear stuff with like those sort of sleeves, people look at your midsection, and sometimes you don't want people to look at your midsection. That's just not an area that's very flattering. So I think that's a good point. Wow, we've got a lot of people from Washington State here. We've got Melissa, Amber, and Marie, all from Washington State. So for the West Coasters out there, which I know it's only like 12:40? Hey, thank you. All right, we've got a Champagne Twist just about to make a dress inspired by a Karen Millen one, but using nicer outer fabric and a better quality lining for hopefully half the price. That sounds really cool. And Sherry says vinyl raincoat. You know, what about, what was I thinking? Have you guys seen the Chanel? I guess Chanel has a bunch of clear plastic clothing, including like boots that are probably thousands of dollars. So those kind of look, that's kind of funny to me that Chanel, this super high-end designer, is selling like clear plastic clothing in the same way that like you could get it from Topshop or Forever 21. I don't know. I think that's kind of funny. Lori, I watch YouTube too much at times that I don't get enough sewing done. Lori, I would agree with you. And you know, that's the thing. Like I don't, you know, like again, if you watch my videos and you join us for the live show, thank you very much. But hopefully this is something you can do while you're sewing and it doesn't take you away from sewing. Because I think it's important for, you know, for creators out there that we, you know, it's at a certain point you have to stop watching other people do it and you do it yourself. I saw, like, again, that video I recommended, and it's linked in the description box if you want to check it out, with Nick Offerman. You know, he had a section in the interview, and that's why I recommended it, was because he said so much stuff that I just really resonated with. He was talking about when he was 19, he stopped watching sports on TV and that sort of thing. Like, he's like, I still occasionally will go to a game in person, but I don't watch it on TV. And I thought that was interesting that he made a conscious decision to, you know, step away from that, especially because when you think about it, you know, watching sports, there's nothing inherently wrong with it, but you're not doing any, you know, you're watching someone else do something. And I think his point was that I wanted to be doing something. And I remember what that was like in my early 20s. I wasted a lot of time doing just stuff that was just a total waste of time. Like, I would watch endless amounts of TV while not doing anything else, you know, or I'd like go hang out with friends. And there's nothing wrong with hanging out with friends either, but you know, it wasn't like, as far as building my future or, you know, improving myself, it really didn't really do a lot to move myself in that direction. So as I got a little bit older and hopefully a little bit wiser, I started moving more in that path of, you know what, if I'm going to spend my time doing stuff, I want it to be something that enhances it and is productive rather than just being mindless and kind of pointless and a waste of time. Got a couple more comments. Okay, Marie. Okay, we've got all the Washington people connecting, which is very cool. So if you're watching and you're in Washington State, definitely hook up with Melissa, Amber, and Marie, because they are all in Washington State. I've never been there before, but it looks lovely. I've got let's see here. Let's see, Glitter and Suds. Hey, Glitter and Suds. I sew what I like and it suits my body shape. I get a lot of ideas from other people's posts on Instagram. I'm not a super trendy person. And yeah, I would definitely say I'm in the same boat. I don't consider myself, I don't really consider myself a fashion plate by any means or any stretch of the imagination. All right, we've got, okay, Joanna, I did quite a few wearable designs from vinyl. It's easy material to work with. Just use a Teflon foot. And she's watching from Manhattan. We've got Melissa. You are one of my first clothing sewing YouTube channels I started. Oh, thanks, Melissa. And we've got She Is Me, first time visitor. Glad I found you. Well, welcome. We do this every Sunday if you're interested, and we just talk about, you know, fun or interesting or important sewing topics. So it's just me and a web camera and all of you guys. So, you know, it's very informal, and hopefully we have some fun. So I don't know. I have fun doing this. Although, except for this morning when I was trying to figure out the camera stuff, I was not having fun. It was, I was very sad. All right, Champagne Twist. I don't get why people would buy a Chanel clear plastic coat when they can get a similar one from a high street shop for less. They will both last the same and look the same apart from the logo. Exactly. Yeah, and they're probably made in the same factory. You know they are, but Chanel can just charge, I guess. Chanel can kind of charge whatever they want, I guess. So, I don't know. Oh, and I've got some exciting news. Let me find this. So, a couple people sent this to me over the past day or so. But last year I made this Halloween costume. All right, let me try to... All right, so last year I made this Halloween costume. I was a loofah sponge. And it got picked up by... The costume got picked up by this, like, little, web slideshow on something called PureWow. I've never heard of PureWow before. But they have, like, a lot of Facebook fans. So my costume was featured, and I'll link it. I'll put it in the comments if you want to check it out. But it was featured on their slideshow of 50 amazing Halloween costumes. So a year later, I guess you can still, get credit for something you did a long time ago. But let me try to get a photo up there. Let me see if I can figure this out. And I should have thought about this before, but I did not. But let me see if I can get a photo up here. I think I can. Sorry, you'll just hear a little bit of noise here. But I was very excited about that. So a couple people sent that to me. Thank you to Susie and Roxana for giving me the heads up. Yeah, so it was in this little article called 50 Amazing Halloween Costumes We're Totally Stealing This Year. So this person had, I guess, gone around the internet and just found, like a bunch of, I guess they just found like a bunch of costumes they liked on Instagram and then lifted the photos. And I've seen so many articles like that too where, like it's not really original content. They just, they just kind of curate stuff they find online, which is sort of, I guess in a way it's kind of genius, but it's also kind of like, it's not really original. You're just taking other people's stuff. I've also noticed that a lot on Pinterest, 10 amazing, DIY dress tutorials. And you go to the website and none of the stuff belongs to the person who runs the website. The person who runs the website just, gathers together 10 tutorials they didn't do and shares that. And honestly, I don't know, that kind of, I get why they're doing it. They need the clicks. But at a certain point, like, would you rather be curating content or would you rather be, like, creating original content? And out of the choice of two, I would definitely pick making my own content rather than just being like, okay, here's 10 tutorials from other people. I'm just going to put it on my blog and make a really cool Pinterest graphic, So, I mean, at a certain point, yeah, it is, if you're a huge website, it's nice to give people recognition. But, like, I don't know, I've seen that on so many DIY and sewing blogs. I don't know how you guys feel, but it's kind of starting to drive me crazy. That's one trend that I, like, wish people would get away from more is just, like, don't just curate content, make things. And I was also listening to something about, there's a guy I follow, he's a creator and an artist named Roberto Blake. He's also on YouTube, and if you haven't checked out his channel and you're a creator, definitely check it out. He also has a podcast called Create Something Awesome Today. And he had some good thoughts recently in one of his videos talking about, if you're going to create something, don't do it for the... Oh, and also Nick Offerman was saying something very similar. If you're going to create something, don't do it for the praise, because you might not ever get recognition for it, but do it because it gives you inner satisfaction and inner joy. Kind of like don't make something because you want people on Instagram to like it, Like, it's cool if they do, but you should be totally, if people don't do that, you need to find a way to be happy with what you're creating, regardless of the feedback you get. So I think that's something important to keep in mind, because we're always making and sewing and sharing things on Instagram and social media. And at the same time, I think there's this whole pressure to make it perfect and to make it, get the most likes or whatever, when really, like, at the end of the day, does that really matter? I don't think it does. So when I'm creating stuff, I like to make it for myself and because I want to make it, not necessarily because I'm like, okay, I hope I get 1,000 likes on Instagram. Like, I don't know. So I feel like when you stop caring about that sort of thing, the pressure is off too, because you're not worrying about what other people think of the project. You're just creating because you want to create. So, I don't know. All right, so the local youth gangs are having a tiff. Whoa, what's happening? youth gang. Okay. And honestly, I don't know much. I'm not going to claim to know much about gangs, although I don't know. I saw a story this week out of also, it was to all the gals watching the home state of Washington about like, it was some sort of like incident. It was a violent gang incident where like 12-year-olds were in a gang. And I was like, how does 12-year-old even find and join a gang? Like, that's crazy to me that 12-year-olds are being initiated into gang life. Like, what? I don't know. Anyways, I know that has nothing to do with sewing, but I was just like, that's just crazy. That to me, it was just crazy that's even a thing. Like, how? I don't know. Anyways, I don't know what's happening to this world, but you know, I mean, I guess we're trying to make it better through sewing. So maybe we can do that. You know, maybe if these people were sewing, they wouldn't need, you know, they wouldn't want to be doing that sort of thing because they would be busy. So I don't know, but I don't know. There's just so many things happening that you're like, you just want to raise your eyebrows and shake your head and be like, why? I don't know. This show is definitely getting off the rails, but that's okay, right? That's okay. I've got a few more comments. Do you know the kind of fabric needed to make rubber pants? Oh, okay. And Vic, polyurethane line fabric. You know what? And she is me. Yes, it's called PUL fabric. And I actually have some. I wish I'd known because I could have gotten some from the craft room. You can get it at a lot of different places, but fabric.com sells it. I think Joann's definitely sells it. There's also a bunch of websites that sell baby diaper making supplies, and it's very popular for that. It's called PUL fabric, and one side's like, I think it's like all like polyester or whatever, but one side feels like fabric and then the other feels like plastic. And it's pretty easy to work with. I've sewn with it a little bit before. All right, Sherry, 12 is a great age for gangs, easy to influence. That's sad. It's so sad, but yeah, it's true. Like when you're 12, you know, you don't really know anything, so you're easily manipulated, you're easily moldable, and I find that to be really very sad. I don't know. Anyways, yeah. Lori, your theme is to be real and be true to yourself. Great reminder. Yes, Vic PUL. Oh, yes. Awesome stuff. I've used it. I've never made diapers, but I did use it to make some sandwich bag wrappers, and it worked well with that. And sorry, guys, I'm going to try to get this picture up here. Let's see. Halloween. All right, yeah, my OBS software today is not cooperating. So some of the show production that I normally do is just not, I don't know, it's just not happening today. I think I need to maybe I need to like refresh my computer or something. I don't know, but I don't know. We just built this computer like 1.5 years ago, so it's really not that, like, this computer is very new and it actually has a lot of, a lot of juice to it. So I wasn't really anticipating any problems, but here we are, I guess. I don't know. All right, so I'm trying to get this Halloween photo up. Okay. All right. I think we're making it work here. All right. All right, yeah, so what's happening with this software is it keeps freezing up, which is kind of frustrating. I don't know. All right, so let's try to, oh boy, all right. This is so, like, and of course it has to happen, like, of course it's got to happen, right before the show. So it's like, I don't know. Also, you'll see an ad for the Hilton, but that was the ad that was on the website, and that's not like a sponsor of the show or anything. So this is the costume. Yes, I was a loofah sponge, and I did have a video. Actually, after this show is over, maybe I'll link it in the description box, but I did make a little bit of a video showing me making it. It was a lot of fun, and I won a Halloween costume at work for it. There were a few different categories. I won the best DIY costume. And I also had some accessories, so I had the loofah costume, and that was just like a t-shirt, and then I bought a shower head off of like Amazon. I made a little fascinator hat, and then I hot glued like polyfill fiber stuffing. I glued on some rhinestones to kind of make it look like it was glistening, and then I glued a rubber duck to it. But that was not the end. I also, and I'll show you guys the video, I also had shower caddy with some like some shampoo bottles and stuff in there. And I also brought a bubble machine to work to give it that extra flair. So the full costume had the bubble machine working and all that other stuff. I'm not really sure. I don't think I'm going to have time this year for a Halloween costume. But if you'd like to see my Halloween costume from last year, I will see if I can find... Let me see if I can find it. Give me a second. Let's see. Oh, here we go. So I'm going to link to the blog post. I'm going to link to the blog post that I made last year about the costume, and it's got a little bit of a video in it, just kind of showing a little bit more how I made it, and what accessories I got. So if you're interested in that, yeah, we'll do that. But yeah, so anyways, yeah, this has been fun. Oh, but let's continue talking about trends. Oh, and also, I've seen a lot of, like, again, I know Halloween's only a couple weeks away. If you are making a Halloween costume, what are you going to make? Like, or if you're making it for your kids, you know, what kind of costumes are you gravitating towards this year? I've been looking at a few. I've seen a lot of food-related costumes, too, like on that 50 Amazing Costumes. There were, like, cupcakes, Starbucks drinks, you know, like, I noticed the cutesy costumes seem to be in this year. Like, someone was, like, an ice cream cone. And I've seen a lot of really cool, colorful costumes that are based in, like, food or, like, pop culture, which I think is fun. I personally I'm not down with, I don't really jive with the scary costumes. I don't really like scary stuff a whole lot, so I tend to more go for, like, the costumes that are, like, not frightening. I don't like to be scared, and I'm not a real good, like, I hate, like, haunted houses, haunted hay rides, anything with the word haunted in it, I don't like. I just get too freaked out. I got, like, nightmares from watching that old movie, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, not the show with Sarah Michelle Gellar. I'm talking the movie with Christy Swanson and Luke Perry in it. That movie, even though it was not even scary, it terrified me and gave me nightmares about vampires for years. So yeah, so I'm not someone that can watch, like, horror movies or anything that's, like, even remotely scary. The only thing I can sort of watch without getting too freaked out is this BuzzFeed series. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's called BuzzFeed Unsolved. And the best way to describe it is like this, I would say it's like unsolved mystery, but the two guy hosts of the show are, like, just goofballs. Like, you know, they're not, like, they're doing it seriously, but they're not. Like, it's more of like like, it's definitely a mix. It's like if Unsolved Mysteries was trying to be funny, that's what this series is called. I've seen every episode, and I can watch that without getting too scared. But I am a really big fan of that particular series on BuzzFeed Blue. So if you haven't checked it out, I would recommend it. That's, even if you, like, don't like scary stuff, that's one you can watch where you won't get too freaked out in. But anyways, yeah, so we're just hanging out here. But yeah, let me know what Halloween costumes do you find to be kind of in this year? Like, I just keep seeing a lot of food related costumes. You know, like, or people go as donuts, or, you know, that, like, people are trying to be kind of, I think, clever with the costumes, clever and kind of funny, but also, you know, like, very visual too. Oh, and I saw one of them in the slideshow was like a bunch of grapes. I thought that one was pretty good. And yeah, I liked my costume. And the one thing I did like about it was that the tool I pinned to my t-shirt, that I just took it off with the safety pins, and then the tool was intact. So I didn't use all the tool, and, you know, I couldn't use it for anything else. I can keep reusing it for other stuff. What I'm going to use that purple tool for, I have no idea, but I had it around last year, so I thought that would work for a Halloween costume. All right, okay. So yeah, the pilot movie was brilliantly funny. Okay, which movie? Okay. So you let me know what you're talking about. Is it the pilot movie? Oh, you talking about the Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie? Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing, like, that movie was not supposed to be scary, but for some reason, I saw it when I was, like, 10 or 12, and it just scared the crap out of me. So for years, I actually slept with the covers over my neck, because I was afraid of vampires coming in to get me, which I know is, like, really stupid. and just, you know, totally just not even a thing. But at the time, you know, when you're like a 10 or 12-year-old girl, you don't know these things. JB, I'm 8 months pregnant. Well, congratulations. I will be passing out candy, no parties. I have no idea what to be. That's not super elaborate, just hanging out at my house. You know, I have seen some really cute, pregnancy costumes where they incorporate like their pregnancy belly into the costume. So you might want to check Pinterest out for that, because I've seen a few that are like very cute. Also, I mean, there's the one, I don't know if you guys watch the show How I Met Your Mother, but there was that costume that Lily had in like one of the final episodes where she was like a whale and then her husband was Captain Ahab. And that was a really cute costume, although it looked a little bit elaborate, but I bet there's a costume out there that, let's see, pregnancy costumes. Okay. And hopefully the typing doesn't bother anybody. Let's see. Pregnancy costumes. Okay, yeah, that's like totally a thing. Okay, oh, this is cute. Okay, there's one, okay, actually, let me see if I can share my computer screen. Okay, let's see here. I don't know. Alright, let's see if this works here. Okay, sorry, I think my OBS again just froze up again, so that's why it's being so, I swear this whole thing has just been very like, it's been, I'm gonna be honest, it's been a little bit frustrating, you know. Yeah, I don't know what else I can do, but yeah, it's not that fun. Let's see here. Let me see if I can. Okay, so let me see if I can, actually, I don't know how I can do this without, like, okay, you're gonna see a bunch of windows for, like, a second, and then you're gonna see, okay, we're gonna try this. You're gonna see a bunch of windows for a second, and then you'll see the Pinterest screen. Okay, so hopefully everyone can see the Pinterest screen, but, yeah, so these are some really cute costumes. Okay, so the one lady is a scarecrow. We've got Winnie the Pooh and Christopher. I think that's cute. Okay, this lady is a gumball machine. Okay, that's actually really super awesome. Okay, and this lady over here is a jar of spaghetti sauce Prego. Okay, so there's some really awesome. Okay, this lady, she's taking a little literal. She's a cow. Okay, that I don't know if I kind of dig that one. Okay, this lady is a kangaroo. Oh, that's adorable. So there are a lot of really neat looking costumes. Okay, oh, this is cute. It's an avocado. So there are definitely some possibilities for the ladies who are having a baby. Bun in the oven. Okay, bun maker. Whoa, okay. You might have to do a little explaining to the kids for that one. Okay, I've seen these. They're like, they'll be a baseball or a basketball. Those are sort of cool. So yeah, there's some possibilities. Okay. Okay, this DIY red right. Okay. And I don't know about this one. Like, she didn't really incorporate like her pregnant, like she's just pregnant Little Red Riding Hood. I don't really get that. Okay, this lady. Okay, oh, it's like a bird's egg. Okay, that's definitely clever. So I mean, there are really some good possibilities there for you if you are interested in doing that. All right, we're gonna go back. So yeah, those were some pretty cool options. I thought I think my favorite out of all of them was definitely the gumball machine. I think that one was really cool. So yes, if you have any suggestions for JB, let her know. We've got let's see, champagne twist. Okay, oh, Melissa, good question. What do you guys do with scrap fabric? Like the true scrap's not big enough to do something else with. All right, champagne twist says make quilts or patchwork pieces. I make hair accessories. That's a good suggestion. I don't really do a lot of hair accessories, but you could, like if they're really small, the other thing you could do with them is you could do applique. Like if you have a piece like that's like this big, you know, you could save it for an applique project. I will also use my scrap fabric for paper piecing projects, for quilting. Melissa, if you don't quilt, you gotta try it. It's awesome. If you like sewing clothes, you're gonna like quilting, I swear. Like, I don't really have a preference towards either sewing or garment sewing or quilting. I would say I like them both equally. There are things I really like about quilting though, that I get a lot of satisfaction out of. I love putting all the colors together, and I also really like the quilting techniques. I think it's really fun. I would start out with like a baby quilt. You do have to use like quilting cotton. Like I wouldn't recommend using like polyester dress fabric or something. But if you're into sewing and you haven't tried quilting, you gotta try quilting. Quilting is awesome. We've got Champagne Twist, could use them for rag rugs. And we've got Melissa writes back, not even the smaller things like little snips. I just feel bad about tossing them. Melissa, the other thing you could do, yeah, you could use them. I've seen a lot of people say they use them to stuff pet beds, and then they'll donate the pet beds. So you could do something like that with them. Or you can use them to, I wouldn't use them as stuffing if they're tiny. Also, if they are super tiny, I'm going to be honest, I wouldn't feel too bad about throwing it out if it was like this big. Because there's not a ton you can do with that if you don't need the stuffing. Or you can, if you really want to go out of your way, you can try to find some place that needs fabric scraps, like for pet beds, and donate them. But I don't know. If it's tiny, I'll throw them away. Like, what else is going to happen? And, honestly, like, if you're going for more of the environmental impact, I kind of also think about it this way. By the time you use gas to drive somewhere to donate something, or the cost and the energy of mailing something, that's almost like a bigger carbon footprint than was created by the fabric scraps. I don't know. So when you think about it in quite down the rabbit hole terms, if you're going totally out of your way in your car to donate something or recycle something, but you use like a lot of gas to get there. Like, I don't know. At some point, I think you should give yourself a break and be like, you know what? If it's less than an inch small, maybe just find a way to get rid of it. I don't know. I got JB. I saw a fishbowl one. Oh, that's a cute idea. So you could have like blue for your belly, and then you could put like a little fish on there. That would be adorable. Okay, that's cute. And I think the kids would like that. Also, it's not scary. When I was a kid, I hated people in scary costumes. Like, it was terrifying. So I don't know. I think that for me as a kid would be like more of a friendly. I definitely would feel like less freaked out if I rang the doorbell and a lady like you answered it in a fishbowl costume, rather than somebody dressed like a witch or like a vampire or like something really terrifying. So yeah. All right, let's see. Champagne Twist says you can make scrap yarn. But yeah, Melissa, if they're tiny, tiny pieces, I would not feel guilty about tossing them if they're tiny. If you feel like you can make use of them somehow, keep them. Like if you do want to make a dog bed, but I don't know, I wouldn't feel, don't beat yourself up over it, because again, yeah, it's a sad state of affairs, and that's why I know a lot of people are into refashioning or repurposing items, like going to the thrift store and buying stuff. So, there are ways you can cut down on your carbon footprint in other ways if you're looking to do that. Vic, me and my husband are going as a prince and princess. Oh, that's adorable. Any sort of type of prince? Are you going as like William and Kate or something? Also, I wonder, maybe there's going to be some like Prince Harry, Meghan Markle couple costumes. I don't know. My husband he definitely will not dress up for Halloween, so there will be no couples costumes in our future. Although we saw some funny, I don't know, he thought it'd be funny to make the cat like bat wings or something, or to make the cat into a dragon. But I don't think she's really going to cooperate and wear a costume. I don't know. But yeah, so I know this topic has really gone off the rails, Smart Original. Do you follow sewing trends? But you know what? We're having fun. We're talking about Halloween. And yeah, we're here. And I'm using my honestly, the camera I used to do this show on is like 4 or 5 years old. So I'm not using the latest technology. I was actually thinking about upgrading the webcam, but then I found out that I guess if you have a higher quality webcam, like if you have a 1080 or a 4K webcam, that YouTube will broadcast your live stream in that quality, but then the replays, like when it processes the video, it's only 720p. So since I know a lot of people watch on the replay and my webcam is 720p, I figure I'm going to save the money for now and see what happens. If YouTube starts saving the live streams as 1080 or 4K, I think at that point I would probably upgrade the camera. But let me know what you think of the quality of this video. I don't think it's bad. You can see me, you can tell I'm a person, And you know, this is more a place for conversation, but hopefully I swear I was trying to up the quality, but this OBS software was like really just not cooperating at all. All right, Vic, my costume is a ripoff of like Princess Merida, and he got a costume to match from the same area. I'm not really sure who that is. Is it a real princess, or is it like a some sort of historical figure? And I apologize, I'm not super up on my royalty. Okay, it's a Disney thing. I was like Princess Merida of Spain or something. Okay, and I'm obviously not. I'm obviously not a Disney expert. Okay, so I'm googling Princess Merida. Okay, so it's from the Disney film Brave. I have never seen this movie. I have seen some ads and promotions for it, but I just have never seen the movie. I think it'd be kind of creepy to, I don't know, for me it would probably be sort of creepy since I don't have kids to like go to a kids movie, so you probably won't see me at the theater for a children's movie anytime soon. Although there is one movie that I would like to see, but I will probably wait until it's out on DVD, and that's that My Little Pony movie. You know what? I don't care how old I am. My Little Pony is awesome, and I continue to be a fan even to this day. So, oh, Vic. Okay, I lost my baby back in April, and I like to imagine her as red curly haired. So this is my way of remembering her. Oh, Vic. I think that sounds like a really nice tribute, and I know you've mentioned this before. I'm so sorry about that. Oh my gosh. But hopefully, you know, hopefully you're recovering and finding peace with the situation. I guess that's the best you can hope for. I know that's a situation where really it doesn't have any particular good outcome other than you getting through it and being able to survive and get past it. So I wish you the best, Vic. And Vic also, oh, Vic is making the donut pot holder. Yes, that's a gift I made last year, and it was a lot of fun. But yeah, so we're just sitting here chatting about sewing trends. But yeah, let's get back into it. Like, are there, if for those of you who have not answered, what sewing trends or trends in fabric and patterns do you like and not like for this year? Like for me, I guess I would say the trends I like, I like the sleeve trends. It also seems like people are really going heavy. People are really making a lot of clothes this year. I think, and another trend I like is more of the minimalistic, style. Having a nicer wardrobe, but having a smaller wardrobe. I think that's something that I'm interested in doing. I recently got rid of a lot of my clothes, and it actually made me happier to get rid of a lot of stuff that I never wore and didn't need in the closet and was storing and keeping up space, taking up a lot of space. So I think that's one thing I like. I also really like I like the shade that millennial pink. I know that's become like a thing. I like that color. I like pink. And I also really like all the cutesy pop culture stuff that's coming out. Like kind of like those Kate Spade style purses that are like really funky and unique. I'm really into that sort of thing. I like gold. I think gold being on everything is a trend that I particularly enjoy. And I also like a lot of the clothes and like accessories I'm seeing just with funny phrases on them, or like, funny sayings. I think that's something that I'm into. Okay, she is me says, do you mean the cut out sleeves? Oh, the cold shoulder tops. That is actually not a trend that I've really adopted for myself. I've seen it everywhere. I guess like I would personally rather go sleeveless like this top here or just sleeves. The idea of having a hole in the shoulder for me doesn't do it. If it does for you, that's great. But I just haven't really found a desire to own a top or to make a top with the cold shoulders, or like I made that top, that sleeveless top from McCall's a while ago, and there was an option for like this off the shoulder like flounce. I didn't do that because it just wasn't practical for me. I work in a really cold office building, so I always have to have like a sweater on, and that would kind of make it difficult. It also seemed just like something that that would bother me. So that is a trend that I didn't really get on board with, is the cold shoulder tops. But I do really like things with peplum or bell sleeves on it, or like ruffles, and that is a trend that I like. I like ruffles. I love bows. I wouldn't say that's a trend necessarily for this year, but I really do like bow accents, whether it's on a jacket or it's like a tie collar that you can tie in a bow. I love that. As far as fabric goes, I don't know. What do you guys think? You know what I have noticed is trendy in fabric this year? Lace is hot. Lace is everywhere. Eyelet, or like embroidered sheer fabrics, embroidered like sheer fabrics over like an underlay fabric. I think that seems to be very popular this year, and that's something that I like. I haven't really been able to execute it. I did buy some eyelet fabric, but of course I haven't used it yet because it's me. So that's something that I like, that I really like, is the whole like having an eye, like a white eyelet fabric with like a pop of color underneath, or the same thing with lace or like embroidered fabrics. That is something that I think I would like to see stay. I know Emily Hallman is making a garment right now. She's got a partnership with Teleo, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, fabrics, but check out her website, emilyhallman.com. She has, and I'll find a link to it now. She's making a gorgeous cocktail dress with like embroidered, whatever it is, and it's just amazing looking. So that's something that I want to learn, I think, more about. She just made a really awesome emerald dress too. Everything she makes is just so beautiful. Let me see if I can, okay, she didn't post about it on her blog yet, but follow her on Instagram. Actually, I will share her Instagram handle. Let's see, it's Emily Hallman Designs. And if you're not following her on Instagram, I'm telling you, you are missing out, because her Instagram is so drool worthy. I would like everything she's making. And I know I've become kind of friends with her, and we've talked a lot. She's one of those people, she doesn't necessarily follow trends. She's more of a trend setter. So she'll use patterns that are I remember one time we were having a conversation. She's like, you know what? I'm not using like the latest patterns, but she takes these patterns that have been around for a while and does things with them that nobody else has. So I think there's another type of person too. Like, there's someone who follows trends, there's someone who doesn't follow trends, and then there are truly people who are like tastemakers or trendsetters. And I think Emily's definitely one of the best people in the sewing niche that has just impeccable taste. So if you haven't seen her on Instagram, she posted some pictures of her newest project, and I cannot wait to see what it is. Like, I haven't made anything like she's done, but I want to, like, every single fabric she has, I want every single fabric she owns. It's that gorgeous, and she just has the best. I think she's someone who just has the most amazing taste. So I would say, as far as following people, like who I like to follow, she's probably my favorite person. She's my favorite person to follow in the sewing community in general. Also, she's been very gracious to offer me, where we become sort of friendly. We've never met in person, but she is such a lovely person and just such a talented and amazing seamstress, stylist, designer, that I think that's someone we need to keep an eye out for in 2018, because I think she's going to do some really amazing things. But yeah, let me know what styles, and also, is there a sewing trend you wish would go away? I'm gonna have to think about that one. Like a trend that you're like, oh my god, just like get out of here already. I'm not really sure what. Let me try to think about it. I may think of something before the end of the show. Sorry guys, but today's show is sponsored by the song "Everything I Do" by Bryan Adams, which was my prom theme song. And if you haven't heard the story before, I'm trying to make this a tradition where I use this mug from my prom. I will drink out of it in every live show. Why? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. But I'm a big fan of this mug. It's very sturdy. And the story behind it is that I went to the prom by myself because nobody asked me. And yes, the prom mug is still here. If this dates me, this might date me like quite a bit. If you can see the year on here, I'm older than you think I am. But I went to the prom by myself. In hindsight, that I'm not sad about that because yeah, the guys at my high school, I would say there wasn't really anybody from my high school that I probably should have been writing home about. Let's just put it that way. So I'm okay with, in hindsight, I'm pretty okay with that fact. Who knows? I might not have met my husband. I might not have gone to college. Who knows where I would be. I'd probably be still up in Buffalo or something. Which, I'm glad I'm from there. But it is freezing up there. It's freezing, and the New York State taxes are insane. So, living in the South definitely has a lot more benefits for me, in my lifestyle. So we're probably never going to live anywhere cold ever again. But I went to the prom by myself, and at the prom, the women got champagne flutes, and the guys got these mugs. And because, I went with a group, there were a couple other girls that didn't have dates also. So because of that fact, because we weren't all couples, some of the women got the mugs instead of the champagne flutes. And at the time, I was like, what the hell? I don't want the guy's mug, but now that, I'm older and wiser, I can see this product is actually a higher quality. And I bet all of those champagne flutes are broken now, because you know how easy it is to break a champagne flute. So this thing has really stood the test of time. Maybe next week I'll show you my high school diploma or something, or my graduation cap. I don't know. We'll have to see. You. And if you're still watching right now and you haven't tuned out yet, thank you for that. Because this show has definitely gone in a different direction at this point. Vic says, I've seen Bryan Adams live 3 times. I love him. You know what? I don't know what has happened to him since then. I don't know. But I'm that song was just ingrained into your memory. Although I think at the time my favorite music, I didn't listen to a lot of music. I think my favorite was that, what was the band called? It was, Len. I really liked the song Steal My Sunshine at the time, so I think that was I liked fun, upbeat music, I don't know, so that was, probably the musical group. And I remember coming home from school and watching Total Request Live, TRL, with Carson Daly, and Hillary Burton, who's now accusing Ben Affleck of groping her, back on the show. It's sort of funny that show is coming back to, they're making a new TRL, but they're using, YouTube stars. So, wow, that's how old I am and how long ago that was. Okay, Jennifer, do you see how many people are watching? I can. Let's see here. There are, I should be able to see how many people are watching. Yeah, there are some, stats you can see, how many people are watching at one time. I try to pay some attention to it. Okay, so right now, all right, it says there are 25. Okay, so 25 of you are actually still tuned in after that really boring prom mug story. So, wow, that's pretty awesome. Okay, so I'm pretty thrilled for those of you who are still here. Okay. So thank you. Okay, She Is Me, the different length dresses or skirts I wish would finally die long in the... Okay, so the high-low. Okay, so She Is Me does not like the whole high-low trend. In some way, I'm cool. It's sort of party in the front, business in the back or something. I don't know. What would be a funny trend though is if it was long in the front and super short in the back. That'd be weird. That would be yeah, that would be really weird. But yeah, so I see what you mean. It's like a mullet skirt, front, short in the front, I guess business in the front, party in the back or something. I don't know. Zoe, thank you for not thinking I'm totally boring. Even though, Zoe, in full disclosure, I don't really leave my house much and I mostly stay at home. So if you think that's exciting, I'm very, very grateful for that. Because, yeah, obviously, you probably have seen my Instagram. I don't really, I'm not hiking mountains or going to like Garth Brooks concerts or, you know, anything like that. I'm just usually like, I don't know what I like besides, so literally the only thing I do, so I go to work. I try to work on sewing projects, but lately it's been more focused with making these YouTube videos. So yeah, there's not, yeah, other than that, I like to go grocery shopping, and also I do laundry occasionally. So there's that. And I've been trying to get some more videos of my cat, which she's not really, I don't think she really wants to be, on camera talent. So that's been a little bit difficult. But anyways, this has been fun. I think I'm going to sign off pretty soon. Yeah, I'm sorry I started late this week. Next week, hopefully we'll be on time. I might try to play with this whole camera setup though, because I do really want to use this camera. The quality was excellent, but it just really made things so slow. Glitter and Suds, living a real life. Yes, exactly. I'm not, you know, I also don't have these, you know, like some of the people you see on Pinterest. I don't have photo shoots, you know, in a perfect room with, you know, actual home decor. You could probably tell in the background. Back there is my, wait, hold on. This door right here is my bathroom. And then right there, that brown thing is my bed. So yeah, so we're here, and this is my computer. So yeah, pretty, yeah, I don't know. I don't really consider myself very exciting, but, you know, but that's why I'm really very glad I can have some online friends to talk to. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't really talk to people. But yeah, we have a good life. My husband's not real. We're both more homebodies. Also, we're both very cheap and frugal. So we don't really like to do a lot of things that are very expensive. We don't travel or take vacations really. So we're pretty plugged in at home, I would say. But hopefully I'm not alone out there. You know, like I'm not posting all these pictures of me on a yacht or something. Or like, you know, like people who are, also I'm tired. Like, you know, I don't have the energy. Maybe it's my age. I don't know. I don't have the energy for a lot of the stuff that I see other people doing. Like, I don't want to go to the farmer's market every Saturday. I don't want to like, I like doing things occasionally, but at the same time, like I just find it to be kind of exhausting. So I'm more of the type of person that likes to stick at home, eat at home, do everything at home, shop online so I don't have to go out. And yeah, so if that's you too, we can still hang out on Sundays. And the good thing is we don't have to leave our house. You know, you can be in your pajamas. I could technically not be even wearing pants, although I promise you I am. That would be sort of creepy. But I really enjoy doing this, and as long as you guys are still here every Sunday, hopefully I will be here too, unless I have really intense camera or technical problems like today. You could do some impromptu sewing machine questions to test out your equipment. That would be a good one. And I've been trying to get some. I've been trying to think of ways to spice up the show a little bit. We're doing the poll question now. And the other thing I would like to do in the future, I think when I have a little bit, hopefully in the future I'll have a little bit more time. Glitter and Suds, me too. Like, I don't understand these people that are like, they'll go to work and then they're like, oh, let's go out afterwards. I'm like, no, I just want to go home. Like, it's even a stretch for me to stop for gas. I just want to go home. Zoe, or show off makes on a live stream, that would be cool. But yeah, I do want to maybe do some other things. The other thing I want to do, I think, is showcase some of your own makes. So on Instagram, if you follow me, or if you want to use this hashtag, use the hashtag Sewing Report Squad. I think in the next few weeks, month, I want to start highlighting some of your cool projects during the live show. It's going to involve a little more production, but what I'm going to do is maybe we'll have a theme. Like I'll say, hey, post, these sort of photo, like your favorite Christmas gift makes or something. And then the next week, maybe we can show off some pictures. If you guys want to do that, I think that would be fun, and it would be a good way for, for us to see what you're making too, and just not me. She is me. Do you sew every day? Oh my gosh. No. I wish I could at this point. And that's the thing, Glitter and Suds was saying, some days, like, I have trouble even concentrating on like basic stuff. Like, this to getting real here. But sometimes, like, if I can make dinner and take a shower, I consider that a win for the day. I would say at this point, the last few weeks have been a little crazy. I started sewing a project, and it was just, I started sewing workout gear. It did not go well. And I even started shooting a video for it, but I don't think I'm going to finish it because the whole project just, I think it was the fabric I was using. It just did not work out. So I don't really want to encourage people to do something with fabric that I just didn't really feel worked for it. So I would say I sew, and I usually sew on the weekends. I usually try to edit the videos during the week because that's an activity, like, the brain power for that is, I can do it more in shorter chunks of time. With sewing, I really need to work on a project for a few hours to really get into it. I'm one of those people that have trouble sewing for like 30 minutes at a time. Like, by the time I actually start doing it, 30 minutes has already been up. But I think editing the videos, or like doing the blog stuff, like writing the blog posts, or like getting links, or like getting ready for the show, or like editing thumbnails or editing photos, is something that I can more focus on in a shorter amount of time. But I just have a lot of trouble like doing something, you know, like if I'm sewing a project, I want 8 to 10 hours at least to work on it. So that's why I tend to focus the weekends for sewing the projects, and shooting me doing it. And then during the week, I do the technical and the nitty gritty stuff for Sewing Report. But I will say it's definitely very challenging, and time is something that I'm sure all of us wish we had more time, but that's, that's not going to happen, sadly. Champagne Twist, you're living the life you want, not boring at all. Thank you for that. And, let's see here. Vic, I wish I could post Christmas presents to Instagram, but my family will see. Oh, that's a good point. Okay. Maybe we can DM you our photos of presents. Okay. That would definitely work. Although, as long as your family members don't watch the live show. So as long as you're, or if you want to do gifts from the past or something, maybe we could do that. So let's do the all call. Or maybe just gifts in general. So maybe use the hashtag Sewing Report Squad and post. Let's start posting now gifts, just Christmas presents we made, or holiday gifts, or even birthday gifts, or baby gifts. Some of your favorites of all time. And I do think we'll share, and I'll of course give you some credit. I'll put your Instagram handle up. So if you are trying to get more Instagram followers, maybe we can all share the love here. And do that. But I think that's definitely something I want to do definitely over the next few months, to start incorporating that every week. Also, the poll question, I think, is something. So if you haven't answered the poll question, it's in the cards, and the cards are like, when you click on the video, or if you're watching it, you'll see like an eye in the upper right hand corner, and then you'll see like some links to other videos I've got, and you'll also see the poll question, and you can answer the poll question, and then next week I will share the results to see what everybody said. And we might have some fun ones in here. Also, I don't know, I'm thinking of some holiday shows, themed shows we can do. I don't know. So we'll see, but I want to have some fun. I really want to have some fun with this. And I also don't want this show to be like too formal or too like stressful. Just have it be more chill and more of a place to just hang out and feel comfortable. I was hoping to get this better camera up and running. Obviously that did not happen, but I think the quality of this camera is okay. Like, I'm not unhappy with it, and because YouTube saves it in 20p anyways, it really, I guess, doesn't make a difference. But guys, I'm gonna log off soon, or maybe not, because my computer is frozen, so I might have to stay here. Since my computer's frozen, I may have to stay here forever and just keep talking. Oh boy, okay. Yeah, I think the screen's frozen. Also linked in the description box, if you don't know this, I'm starting to do I've started to make some videos, although I haven't, again, had a lot of time for this yet. Hey, Linda! Alright, well, Linda, you're catching us at a good time, because my computer's frozen, so I can't really go anywhere. So I can't even, honestly, right now, I can't even stop this live stream because my computer is just, I think this computer needs some CPR or some emergency help. So I don't know. But I do want to let you guys know that if you kind of want to, I want to make some fun videos that are not sewing related as well. So I have a new channel that it's not really a new channel. It's a channel I've had for a really long time, but didn't do anything with it. But I've started to put some of them are like, I think the videos I want to do besides sewing are more talking about personal finance, talking about some stories that have happened to me in my life, product reviews, and some funny videos. So if you are interested in that sort of thing, my other channel is linked below. It's called Jen Talks Forever. It's something that I like literally maybe just started working on a couple months ago, and I haven't really been able to devote a lot of time to it. But it's a project that I also feel, is worth doing. I love sewing, don't get me wrong, but I also have a lot of other things that I want to share that definitely would not fit on this channel. Also maybe some cat videos in the future. So if you're interested in that, you're welcome to go and subscribe to the other channel I've got. It's called Jen Talks Forever, and it's linked below in the description box. It's called, I just labeled it like what I do when I'm not sewing, and that is what I'm doing when I'm not sewing. Alright, yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to stop this live stream because, yeah, it's totally like frozen, which is kind of interesting. So I'm not really sure. I don't think I can go anywhere. Oh, wait, I think I can stop it now. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining us again. This has been a lot of fun. And next week, I think we're going to talk about sewing and how much money it costs, how we can, I think, keep the costs down. Because the thing I'm getting from a lot of people is that the cost is a big barrier of entry, especially for the younger folks. And we don't really want that. We want people to feel like it's an approachable hobby and it's something that they can do and not cost a fortune. So I think that's something we could talk about next week. Wow, this is like, all right, wow, this is kind of comical, just because I'm like this is actually kind of funny. Anyways, guys, if I can get my computer unfreeze, let's see here. This is just kind of funny, but I'm still here and we're hanging out. I can't really see the chat box now because like the computer's being so glitchy. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this computer. This is just not happening. And I can't even I usually have like a pre-produced intro and like an ending. And I can't even do that. This is honestly so weird. I honestly cannot stop the live stream, which is funny. Alright, guys. I'm gonna try. Okay. Alright, guys. Alright, I think I'm able to do it. I will see you all next week for another